Welcome out to Salida, Colorado. As we continue our season previews, time for us to jump into the cross-country team for the Spartans, which is one of probably the more successful teams from last year when you look at the success you guys had throughout the course of the season. Kenny Wilcox, the head coach, joining us, and David Remington, who is one of the assistant coaches, taking some time with us as well. And first of all, Coach Wilcox, season getting started, but numbers pretty strong for the cross-country team so far.
I'm always glad kids show up for cross country. You know, like we don't have like all the cool gear, like shoes. That's about as cool as it gets for us, right? Maybe a nice pair of shorts.
I'm gonna say some cool running shorts.
Yeah,
you get the cool sleeveless. You can show off the guns with what you guys wear.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we know it's a pretty tough sport. It's a lot of, and a lot of sports talk about the mental side of it, but for us, it's really true. It's just you against yourself predominantly, and so that's sometimes the harder battle to try to win. So I'm glad kids show up. We might have one of our biggest girls teams that we've ever had.
Well, I was going to say, the girls team, will start off with them. A lot of success last year, but also a lot of returning kids from that team from last year's group. Where would you say the bar is for that group, and how much competition is there from the new kids, the new faces, to get into that top 7?
Yeah. So you're right. I believe we're returning 6 of our top 7 from that state team, and then there are some of those new faces as well. That I think is just going to make us better. In a lot of ways, I can make some comparison to that guys team last year, where you had 10, 12 guys that were really pushing each other in practice every day, which sharpened us a lot quicker if you had fewer numbers that way. So. There's going to be some of the new faces that are going to make an impact pretty quick.
David, is there anything nice about seeing returning teams like that as a coach and an assistant coach where you can kind of rely on some of them as coaches on the course as well, especially with cross country when you guys go out on your runs? You're spread out for a quarter mile, a half mile sometimes with where kids are at.
Yeah, it's really nice to have people who have came back from the previous years who know what our workout is, and they have a good idea of what they should be doing, and they can help those who are along with them say, okay, this is what we should be doing. Maybe we shouldn't be going quite so hard just yet because we still have 7 more of these to go.
let's keep the pace going. On the boys' side, you mentioned the team that graduated last year. A lot of new faces are going to be jumping onto that team as far as who's going to be competing. You might have had them in the program before, but people might not have seen them before so much, not as visible. Who are some of the faces that might jump into that conversation early on? Any names that people will be seeing consistently in the early going?
Yeah, there are some of those names. A few, like a guy like Jake Vold. He was on our state team 2 years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him mixed back in there. He's had a busy summer, so we'll get him up to speed and into shape that way. And then there's a couple sophomores, Cooper Banghart. My son Elijah, I got to throw his name out there. He's put in a really good summer, so he's going to be ready to roll. So a few other faces that are new too. A couple freshmen, and then another junior too that's new. We'll see how they look when they get a little more mileage underneath of them. But those would be a few names early on.
What's the state kind of shaping up like when it comes to cross country? Peak to peak, is going to be back in the conversation again. They always are. They're always kind of that team to shoot for at the top of the list, or at least in recent memory they have been. What about the rest of the state? Where's the competition going to come from? And for you guys, where do you feel the biggest test could come this year?
You want to take that one? I know there's one team we could probably think about.
But TCA is always puts out a good team to shoot for. Alamos would probably be good too.
Yeah, Alamos is always there, just a powerhouse. They've got the culture down there, the running culture. But yeah, you mentioned peak to peak. They do have excellent coaches, so they will factor in. You would look at it and think they probably will be down a little bit. They just had such a talented girls class forever, and graduation did hit them pretty hard on the guys' side too. But it's still peak to peak. But yeah, TCA, quite frankly, I think for the boys and girls, they probably go in with the edge on both sides coming in. Their girls look, even just talking to their coach a little bit this summer, they sound like they're going to be really tough. And I think he's feeling pretty optimistic about his boys team. So he hasn't told me everything, I'm sure. But the fact that he
Got to hold it close to the vest a little bit. You
Yeah.
probably haven't told him everything that you got coming
Oh
up either.
my,
though.
no!
Are you
I
just
can't tell
wide
Coach-
open and open book?
I can't tell Coach Versa everything. We're good friends, but there's some things you want to have them discover later on. So
Well, it should be a fun year. I'm excited for seeing what you guys can do out there on the boys and girls sides. I know a lot of, I don't know if pressure is the word, but I think a lot of expectations on the girls side. I think the boys is a little bit more of an open slate, but I think the girls are ready for that challenge. And I love what I saw earlier when I saw the big amount of kids out there. Coach, thanks for the time. We'll look forward to chatting with you two as we go on through the year.
thanks much. We look forward to it too.